All right, everyone, welcome back to Melanin Minds, empowering Black women in the comic book and manga space. Today we have an awesome guest that we met, man, I think 4 years ago, actually, at Atlanta Comic Con. She is an amazing writer. She is gung ho. Like, she is probably one of the coolest people that you, for some reason, haven't had the honor to meet if you haven't met her. And I'm very disappointed in you, and you should definitely meet her, and you should definitely check out her book, Gehenna Imperium, because it's a really cool story. And there's so much other stuff going on the side as well, with some other like tie-in comics that got done with the story. And so if you haven't read Gehenna Imperium, you're missing out. It's really good. And so today we have Jaye Wynn from Ruling Hand.
Hello, thank you for having me. Such a warm welcome. Oh man, I feel like humbled right now.
I try to make everyone feel really special because, of course, I have y'all on here because I love what y'all do. But it's like some people do comics, some people do novellas, or some people are doing comics, but they also like do movies or other stuff. Like, everyone is so cool to me.
Right.
I'm just like, look, I'm here to hype y'all up.
And you're doing a fantabulous job at it.
And hopefully everyone else will jump on the bandwagon with me, because that's kind of the point.
Right.
But we're just gonna jump into this. Can you share how your cultural heritage has influenced any of your work? A specific example from your cultural background that's inspired something?
Actually, when I started writing Gehenna Imperium, it wasn't about influencing my own cultural background into this. It was actually, I was living in Korea, and so it's reverse. Actually, I wanted to incorporate their culture into our space, but of course with representation. So it was imperative that, all right, I'm a Black female living in Korea, and I'm doing this martial art. So, and by the way, the martial art is called Taekyon. It predates Taekwondo, and so I was like, as many competitions as I've gone to, there was no females, not in like Black females. So it was more like I wanted to bring this out. So it's more of incorporating the Korean culture into our culture. So, but it was by way of representation, because you don't see Black and you don't see female. So it was really in reverse.
I like that, actually. I feel like it still kind of counts, though, because it's more like it's like a cultural clash of sorts. And while I knew about the martial art, because you've told us about it before, I think you told Lloyd on Indie Breakdown as well, I don't think I ever caught that you were living in Korea at the time. I didn't know that.
Yes. So I was living in Korea for 8 years. I was an English teacher. So while I was there, I studied, and their view on Black culture and Black people is very minimal, especially when it came to females. The only comparison that they had was Beyonce. So everybody looked like Beyonce.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So, I mean, they love Michael Jackson, but they didn't even know about Janet. So that's why there's a big gap.
Yeah.
If you ask if you ask anybody about entertainment, they think we have male representation. So everybody know about males, sports, all of that, but they don't know how to take females. So that's why I was like, well,
I know a few people who teach in Korea and a couple other places over there. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. Which, just even from going over there or just hearing stories, you hear a lot about there, and then people are confused as why we say there is anti-Blackness. It's global, because the representation that they get from us is very minimal, and that's why they like even mixed race people who live in Asia, anywhere, who are part Japanese, part Black, or part Chinese, part Black, or part Korean, part Black, still face so many issues because they're just like so much derogatory stuff I'm not even gonna get into.
But I will say that it's through their side. It's more through at least what I found, my experience is just lack of education, just lack of it. Unlike here, where it's more malicious, it's more of just lack, right? So, and that's why, yeah. So
Right.
that's why I was like, all right, well, I can do this. Since I was a third level master in the sport, I was like, well, I know I'm going to have a hard time actually starting up a class here. So let me try another avenue.
Okay,
Yep.
that's cool. So,
Hmm.
how do you approach the balance between handling tradition and embracing innovation when it comes to the creative
Um,
process?
Tradition, well, actually, I wanted to stay away from it, I guess you could say, because in the classroom, I found that it was very difficult to incorporate like Black movies or Black music. Um, it's, I guess you could say it's inappropriate. Or what it is that we cater to each other.
Hmm.
So we don't realize in an ESOL class how difficult, like I have to have a whole lesson plan just to teach a music video, just so they get it. Because we include so much back history. We know I mean, we could live in different parts of the world, but we know the same issues. We know the culture, we know the slang, the jargon, all of that. But to
Hmm.
someone on the outside, they don't know, so that they don't get it. And so I was like, well, dang, okay, I'm gonna have to break this down into like serious snippets just to present it, just so that we can listen to or watch, let's say The Wiz. I had to really break it down so that they get it. And so I felt like, all right. And I get, because I was like, well, it's simple. Oh, well, I guess it's not simple. We grow up with it.
It's simple to us because,
Yes, yes.
well, like, this is required reading and watching for us growing up. Like, from the fact you're
This
not
is
black.
life. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. And then a lot of them, they're like, well, you're not Black, so you don't get it. I'm like, well, that's the point. How about we teach it so they get it? How about we present it so they get it? So, um, in that aspect, that's what influenced me, is just to present where they get it. Um, because being there, your face being there, you automatically become the ambassador. You become the ambassador for all Black females, or, like around the world. And the thing is no, I'm just one that came from, Miami. There's different backgrounds that we all come from. So I actually, including, I wouldn't say traditions, but more like experiences. So I've tried to include experiences, um, and then enmesh it in with their own culture. And that's how we came up with this innovative, like, series.
So, how do you use your cultural background as a source of strength and inspiration in these, not just in creative endeavors, but also
Mhm.
in the teaching? Because the teaching side has actually very much caught my interest.
Mhm. Actually, I came from a rather strict background. This wasn't no, I did not come from, oh, hold my hand and spell it out for me, so that I get it. No, I came from more of a background where work it out, think about it. Then, if you can't figure it out, then ask about it. So that's what I try to do. And it is like in the writing, I was like, I want you to look at it first. I want you to come up with your own interpretation. Then, for example, in volume 2, then we'll explain what's going on. But, but,
Which, you don't read it and you don't get it yet. So,
right. But I'm gonna give you the freedom to bring in your own interpretation, because
mhm.
that's how I was raised or brought up. So I bring it in, think about it first. If you have a question, it's fine to have questions, but see if it's not right there in front of you.
Mhm.
Then if you still don't get it, okay, all right, now we'll ask a question.
Critical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
it's hard to teach children critical thinking than I thought.
Uh-huh. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I can always give it to you, but why? That's too easy. And that's how I was raised. It's always there. You got encyclopedias, go look it up.
Right. No, I'm with you because that's definitely what I remember growing up. And my mom was a math teacher, so
Mm-hmm.
critical thinking and logic and all that stuff, that was, of course, a huge thing.
Right. Right. Especially being a math teacher. Whoa. Oh, yeah.
I'm not great at math per se. I could do the
Look,
critical thinking and I could do some logic. Math, like
math. Oh gosh, no. That was
geometry,
great.
calculus,
No. Outside of fractions, when we got into fractions, I was done for.
fractions. I do algebra. I like algebra.
Mm. Is that
It's
still math?
basic addition, but then they added numbers, but then you just solve for the numbers. So it's like I
Mm.
can do that. But anything
Mm. I can do chemistry, but I cannot do math. I was a
it's like
breeze at it. Ninth grade, taking 11th grade chemistry. I was like, bring it. Helping the other classmates, like, bring it. I got this. But math, oh, if you weren't talking 50% off or above, then we're not talking.
no, to be fair, I took the advanced classes, but because my mom was a math teacher. So
Uh-huh.
freshman year I started doing all the advanced. So I was taking like 10th grade, 11th grade science and maths. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was taking AP classes on top of that, which, the
Mm-hmm.
upside is 11th grade is your last year taking math and science. Now you're a senior and you
Yeah.
can really just chill. But man,
Oh, I felt that way with science. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
math
I
and
know that
science.
one.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
in what ways do you believe your work contributes to the broader representation of Black women in the arts? Man,
Well, I mean, we don't have really, I mean, I still keep looking and I really don't see representation of us as in, especially martial arts.
mm,
If you say black, who was, how do you say his name? Michael J. White. He's
Michael
like
Jackson.
the only one you really give credit to. Hmm. We don't have that. We don't. We might have one person that did one show, one movie, but that's not, we can't tag them for that. And so um, that was my influence so that we have representation. Now, when we find someone who I feel is worthy, I would love to film them. But I went this route because I still wanted to present a Black martial art character. Just couldn't find a Black martial artist. So,
Yeah.
not me. I did not want to be in front of the camera. So, that being said,
Thank you. But like you could like stupid thing. I don't know what is going on with Wi-Fi today, but it's not our
right?
friend every
Hmm.
5 seconds. But no, like you
Yeah,
could get
right.
like a quick like 30 like a set of like 30-second videos where you're like teaching different like styles or takedowns or something like that.
Mm.
And it doesn't have to be like
Yeah, but that still takes being in front of the camera. I'm allergic. I,
no.
I I am my worst critic, so I will see everything wrong. I
Yeah,
have done videos and I can't stand to watch myself.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't think I can sit through the editing process watching myself.
That's fair. It sounds like Lloyd when he's doing Codice. If I record him and he looks at it, he's like,
Hmm.
that was
Hmm.
terrible. So um oh,
Right.
okay.
So I hope that with this, shoot, if someone steps up and be like, hey, I'd love to. Okay, We can work this out. I'd love to film you. I'll show you some moves. You get a crash course in Taekyon, and we get out there with a visual, not just a reading aid, from the manga or the comic, but we can get videos out. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I would love to see you have somebody like just be able to at least do like a short, even if it's her
Mm-hmm.
like before death training, and it's like a quick short,
Mm-hmm.
a 2-minute promo videos of something,
Right,
just
right,
her training montage leading up to everything that happens that leads into the story. That would be really cool.
mm-hmm. Right. That's
Love
a
to see.
great idea. But I got to find an artist. So if there's anyone watching that's just like, ha, 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 I'll teach you. I got you.
Let's see. Let me get a little more in shape. See what happens. But how do
Mm-hmm.
you envision the future of culture expression among Black women creatives?
I hope that we could be just as fast, just as as our blacks or our men. I think our men do a fantabulous job and they get out there. We, on the other hand, I mean, I know we're out there, but we're just not in the forefront.
Ever.
So I hope that, right. So I hope that, and I see some other forums, and it's great that we have this space, but it is really tough even amongst each other.
Mm.
When I go on those other forums, I'm like, man, there's more to this, right? Okay. Um, but we just have to get out there. I don't, other than doing shows, um, we're just gonna have to push for it. It's not gonna be an easy path. We just have to push. But I hope that there's enough of us out there that we should be able to try to make
Oh,
some waves. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. Uh, uh, Now, as far as projects, let's see. Projects, well, I do on the side as far as projects or initiatives that I use is I am also a, what do you call it? I'm sorry, blanking out. I am an international coordinator where basically I bring foreign exchange students to America for one school year.
oh,
So with that, every, I get to interact with these students from, we work with what, 15 different countries. So I get to work with how many countries from Japan to Taiwan, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark. I get to work with all of these students. Um,
ah,
so I hope in some way when they just, and some of them have never even seen a Black person before. So um, just being there in their presence is like, okay, now ask me questions, or let me show you this, or let me help you with this way.
wow. I didn't know that. That is
Mm-hmm.
freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because we are everywhere. And to say that
Yeah.
there's one from a country that's never seen a Black person says a lot
Mm-hmm.
when we live in those countries too. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how is that happening?
So what happens is we find each other in those countries, but
Mhm.
it's like a click because we're comfortable. That's where we stay. We find out, we were like, oh, my village, my people, and then you just kind of gravitate, and that's where you just stick together, um
That
and you
makes
don't,
sense.
sometimes you don't realize it. Yeah.
I think
So
that is the thing where it's just like another one. I feel safe
another, yeah.
versus over here where I'm the only one. I don't feel as comfortable or as safe.
Mhm. Right.
We feel that we have that safety in numbers because I mean it's
That
kind of
has proven to help us survive, right?
it's ingrained in us. It's a survival tactic. So many of the things that we do now
Hmm.
are in our DNA because of what our ancestors went through. So many people don't understand that or they've heard it, but they just forever try to refute it. And it's like, no,
And
that's a real thing.
that's a real thing. Uh-huh. And I think we naturally fall into it because I went to Korea for the cultural experience.
That's fair. That's
And
understandable.
but I admit that even myself, when I saw another Black female walking down the street, like I wasn't stalking them, but my eyes was like, oh,
Hey,
we're
hey.
there. Like, oh, there's another one. Oh,
It's like the head nod when you're at an event and there's not a lot of us and you spot one,
yeah.
you smile and
That's
nod.
that silent conversation. Yeah.
It's like, we know what it is.
We know. So it's just natural that way. But yeah, and that's why you don't see them because we're there, but we'll be over there, not where everybody else is.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, lastly, what advice would you give other Black women who are exploring their cultural heritage in their work, or maybe exploring, because of how you do it, exploring integrating other cultures with their culture in their work?
I influence actually the reverse, bringing in the culture. And let's get past the stipulation. I remember hearing at one time the word appropriation was like rampant, and people didn't quite understand that appreciation is not appropriation. So I think that we should incorporate more cultures into ours, especially if we want to be seen more, because what's to motivate them to look at our stuff? But if they see the connection with theirs, hey, we can do this. That's like Korean manhwa. Korean manhwa, they incorporated American comics. They put their style with the American comic style together. And look, now we go on, what is it, Webtoon. And, now they have all of these different websites. And manhwa is actually quite popular. Hence, what the latest one is Solo Leveling. That's Korean. They've got the animations that are coming out for that. So they incorporated it. So I feel like that's what we're going to need to do. If we are just so staunch and so stick on, well, it's going to be about the Black experience, we're going to actually boost out a lot of people. We're going to isolate a lot of people.
Yeah, manhwa is quite popular. I enjoy manhwa every now and again. I did not know Solo Leveling was manhwa, but I also haven't read or watched it yet. I'm trying to get around to it, so that's probably why on that front.
And but it's really picking up steam as an animation. So it's like, yeah, that's where it's coming from. But so I think we need to not isolate ourselves by wanting to push our influence, because the only influence that we're going to have is within our same community. And we know this story. We know it. So I think we should try to open up and share our cultural experiences by bringing in other cultures. Like in my case, I studied Taekyon while I was in Korea. So let me bring it in and fuse them together. And I think that's what we should do. Infuse more, be more open, not just talk about your heritage, which it's great and you should include it, but not to a point that we exclude other aspects or other topics.
I like a good cultural fusion. Makes for good dishes.
Right.
I definitely like. I think if we include a little bit of something else with ours, it helps other people also learn more about our culture, because so many people are ignorant of culture, Black culture, because there's so many different kinds of Black culture, even just in America.
Yeah.
So it's to help other people to learn about it and enjoy reading stories about it by getting that
Mm-hmm.
little bit of something else in there that makes you think, oh, well, what's that? And then
Mm-hmm.
you see everything else surrounding it.
Yeah.
Because culture, I know, especially because I know for me, especially, culture is very important. Something I grew up with very, so that's why it's in one of my
It's
characters.
innate in you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's also that culture is in her background, but she lives here. So how does that integrate with
Uh-huh.
growing up in a different culture at the same time?
Right. Right. Yep. Because like I said, what we end up doing is we just end up um basically writing for each other. And we want to go beyond that. I think that's what we need to do is go beyond that.
I will say my other hope is that people will see something and be like, oh, that's interesting and sounds like a good story, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Pick it
Right.
up. That's my other hope. But we can only
Right.
hope from some people sometimes.
So, and that's why I feel like, right, let's broaden the topic. Let's broaden the influence in here because they already just have an image of, oh, it's another angry black woman. Like everybody quotes this. And it's not even about us being angry black women. We just have something to say, really. We're expressive. We're not angry.
Right. Sometimes we're just trying
We're
to get
expressive.
the point across because people don't listen.
Uh-huh. Yep. So
Fortunately, sometimes it doesn't matter how we do it.
true.
Still anger. You can speak in the most
Hmm.
calming voice.
And they won't listen to you until you nut up. Got it.
Every time. It's like, why must y'all be like this to us?
Mm-hmm. It's just like good customer service. As long as you're nice, they'll like pull you around. But the
Can
minute,
we please
like Wi-Fi, let's be on the same page today.
just give me just like a little bit more of your beauty and time and trust. Are we here? Are we
Mm-hmm.
here? Are we good? Are we happy? Can I have 5 minutes? Is that okay with you? Maybe. I'm still looking at this
Cool
one
with.
dot.
Oh
I gotta get,
wow.
yeah. So I don't know if that's okay with it, but we're gonna figure it out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and get this move to the Black Woman Creator Spotlight or
Mm-hmm.
Black Woman Comic Spotlight, whatever I normally call it. This internet has me all thrown off
Mm-hmm.
today. It's not it's not on the thing, Lloyd, so you don't have to worry about putting it up. But today we're going to talk about Oh, Jesus. We're going to talk about Tanika Stotts. She is a writer and editor of multiple comics and she creates characters and voices for underrepresented people in comics. She has worked on Elements, Beyond, the queer sci-fi and fantasy comic anthology series, and is also the writer of the webcomic Full Circle, Love and Sprocket, and Deja Brew, which I always loved that name. So if you haven't yet, check out Tanika Stotts. That's TANEKASTOTTS. Tanika Stotts. Make sure to check out her work. It is beautiful work, of course, just like everyone else I talk about, whether you agree with me or not. We are objectively right when we're in here. Uh, but, and of course, also don't forget about the challenge. There we go. Challenge, use your culture to create a piece of art, whatever that piece of art may be. And if you turn it in, it will get seen on the very last episode of the season. And thank you, Jay. It's always a pleasure. We need to link up at some point. It probably won't be this year, but some point next year during con season or something, we all need to get back together because we have so much fun all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And of course, share with everyone where they can find you.
All right. So I am on Instagram, Ruling Hand, and see Facebook, The Ruling Hand. And we do have a website on rulinghand.wixsite.com.
Yep. And of course, you can find me at Midnight X Comics everywhere except YouTube and Facebook, where we're just Midnight Comics, or you can find me at official_TOSHIJ. That's official_TashiJ everywhere except YouTube and Facebook, where it's TashiJ89. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Melanin Minds. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. As the Wi-Fi goes to an X on my screen.
Oh.